a silky cream filling inside the crispy Phyllo cone that will always crunch when you bite it. Let me show you how to make these cream-filled Phyllo cones. It's an easy Greek traditional dessert made with simple ingredients that will rock your world. Start by adding 3 mastic tears to a mortar and pestle. Mastic tears is a spice originating from the Greek island of Chios. They are very aromatic and a very small amount goes a long way. Measure 150 grams of sugar and for that amount take 1 tablespoon and add it to the pestle with the mastic tears. I'm adding the sugar because it will help powder the mastic tears to dust easily. Transfer it to a small bowl and set it aside. For the cream filling, take a medium-sized bowl, add 4 egg yolks and half the sugar mentioned in the recipe, which should be about 75 grams. Whisk until combined and then add 25 grams of all-purpose flour. Whisk again and then add 90 grams of corn flour little by little. Add 2 vanillin capsules or 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and whisk to combine. Once you finish incorporating all the corn flour into the mixture, you will get a very thick batter like this. Set it aside while you prepare the cream filling. In a medium-sized saucepot, add the remaining sugar, the dust of mastic tears, and 1 liter of milk, whole fat. Turn on the heat to medium and bring to a soft boil while whisking it on and off. When you see the milk forming foam at the edges of the pot, it's ready to take it off the heat. Take a big soup spoon and transfer a spoonful from the warm milk into the bowl with the eggs and flour and whisk to combine. Repeat the process as many times as it takes until the eggs mixture becomes runny and pourable. Each will take about 4 or 5 spoonfuls. Return the sauce pot with the milk to your stove top over medium heat and pour in the egg mixture all at once while constantly whisking it until it thickens. Just before it thickens, you will see bubbles form at the surface, and at this point you should turn off the heat but continue whisking. This procedure will take 1 or 2 minutes tops, so you will need to have your eyes and whisk always at the sauce pot because it thickens very fast. Look at this creamy and silky custard. I assure you it tastes divine. After you take it off the heat, apply cling film on top of the custard so that it doesn't form a crust. Add it to your fridge to rest for at least 2 hours or perfectly overnight. For the clarified butter, you can get store-bought one or continue watching and I'll show you how to make your own. In Indian cooking, they call the clarified butter ghee, and although the procedure for making ghee is a little different, the end result is more or less the same. After this procedure, you will get pure butter that has a higher heating point. Get a small saucepot and add 200 grams of butter over medium heat. As soon as you see bubbles forming on top, reduce the heat to low and let it boil for a couple of minutes and then turn off the heat. Take a spoon and remove the milk stains that you will see on top. What remains in the middle is pure butter that will have higher heating point. If you skip this step and don't remove the milk stains, your Phyllo will have black spots on it because the milk burns faster than the pure butter. Transfer the pure butter to a bowl carefully so that you don't add the milk stains that remain at the bottom of the saucepot. If you accidentally transfer some of the milk particles, just remove them with your spoon again. After you finish making this dessert and you have leftover clarified butter, you can store it to a jar for up to 6 months in your fridge. After the custard has rested, remove the cling film and break it down with a spoon so it will be easier to transfer. The custard should have a thick consistency, like that, because it will need to stay on top of the Phyllo cones and not fall off. Transfer the custard to your stand mixer to fluff it up before use. Whisk it starting at low speed, gradually increasing the speed to the max. Transfer the custard to a big piping bag and keep it in the fridge until it's time to use it. Fold the first Fillo sheet into 3 parts and use the folding lines to guide your knife and cut the sheets all together. Stack the Fillo strips into one stack and cover them with a towel until you are ready to use them because they dry easily. Fold the parchment paper in half and then into 3 parts. Use a scissor to cut it into 3 strips and cut those 3 strips in half, forming 4 square sheets. You will need 2 parchment papers for this recipe, which will give you 24 parchment paper squares in total. Cut an aluminum foil the size of a baking tray into strips and then crumble it into small balls. Take the clarified butter, sprinkle it on top of the Fillo strip without the brush touching it. Apply the second strip on top of the first and then sprinkle some clarified butter again. Apply the third strip on top of the second one without sprinkling any butter this time. Fold the strips into a triangle without applying much pressure. Use light folding movements until you reach the edge. Here you have 2 options. Either you cut off the excess Fillo as you see on the left screen, or tack it below as you see on the right screen. Both methods are okay, but I rather fold it than cut it. Take 1 cone in your hand and slide in 1 sheet of parchment paper that we cut earlier. Push it with your fingers to fit in and then add a bowl of aluminum foil in the middle. Let me show you the procedure one more time. This method with the parchment paper and aluminum foil helps the cones to stay open and hold their shape while baking. Hit the like button if you enjoy watching this video. Cover the cones with a kitchen towel so that they don't dry out until it's time to bake them. Every large baking tray holds about 12 of these cones. Bake at 160 Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit for about 17 minutes. Look at these beautiful cones coming right out of the oven. Remove the parchment paper and the aluminum foil balls as soon as you are able to hold them without burning your fingers, and let them cool off at room temperature for at least 1 hour. For the plain sugar syrup, take a medium-sized saucepan and add 600 grams of sugar, 470 grams of water, and the juice of half a lemon. Boil them over high heat for 5 minutes and the syrup is ready. Dip the cones inside the syrup after they have cooled off completely with the help of a fork and a spoon. The syrup should be hot but not boiling. Dip them in, strain them, and take them out immediately. Don't let them soak in the syrup for more than 3 seconds. Place them in your baking tray until it is time to fill them. You can use a soft glass to hold the cones while you fill them with the custard cream. But I thought about this hack after I finished the video. Actually, it is best if you store the cones and the cream separately, and whenever you would like to have some, pipe in the cream. In that way, they will be fresh and remain crispy for many days. Stay fresh and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I'm Christina and I'll see you next week with one more delicious recipe.